the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, internet streaming, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the written consent of UNM Sports Properties, Playfly Sports, or the university is prohibited. The UNM Sports Radio Network is a division of UNM Sports Properties and Playfly Sports. 96.3 News Radio, KKOB AM and FM, Albuquerque. A Cumulus station. This is KKOB News now.
It's time for Lobo Talk, brought to you by Wendy's. We have breakfast now.
You by State Farm. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Charge your game with Mountain Dew, proud partner of New Mexico Lobos basketball. Larry H. Miller Dealerships for service, sales.
Yes Bank, a proud supporter of the University of New Mexico. Congratulations to the Lobo men's basketball team as they take down Laterno 90-58 to start their season at 3-0. We roll right out of basketball. By the way, Hoops gets Boise State on Monday night, the 21st, 7:30, right here on these airwaves. Airtime 7 o'clock with your Lobo basketball pregame show as they start conference play. First of back-to-back games on a Monday and a Wednesday in Boise against the Broncos. We shift our attention now to football. Signing Day special edition of Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network. And football is better with a crisp Bud Light at your game. Keep it crisp, Lobos. Please drink responsibly. Thanks to Premier Distributing for their support of our Signing Day special. It is my privilege to welcome in the head football coach at the University of New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez, and Coach G. This will be our final Lobo Talk for the 2020 season. So we can do a couple of things with this show, my friend. We can put a ribbon on another Lobo win to close out the regular season. Beauty of a victory over Fresno State. And then we can encapsulate your 20 new charges that you brought into the program. First off, how are you doing? And are you just happy to be back home and firing up the barbecue again?
I am so excited to be home where we belong back in Albuquerque. But, I mean, all those things that you just talked about are unbelievable. But let's talk about something else. I mean, congratulations to Coach Weir and Coach Badbury already. I mean, the Lobos are undefeated in December in all sports right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a good time for the Lobos.
That's often, absolutely right on the money, Coach G. And you guys did it in difficult fashion, you have to say, right? Doing it on the road, playing your home games in Vegas. And, gosh, I think back to Nevada, you guys could have swept your home games.
We really could have. I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot that night with 3 assignment errors on defense that we didn't cover deep balls, which was our nemesis early on. But, you know, it was sure nice not to have to get on a plane to go somewhere to play a football game. So I'm really appreciative for UNLV and really the city of Las Vegas for helping us out, being able to host those games there. And I thought we had an advantage towards the end. It really was becoming University Stadium West. I just wish there was 30,000 Lobo fans to fill it up. But ideally that would have been here in Albuquerque. So the kids, they fought through some adversity, not only during football games, but the whole 42-day stay in Las Vegas and all those things that it took to be able to get to the end of the season and play those games and end it with some momentum. I'm really proud of our kids and really our entire organization. I mean, they really proved we are New Mexico, and that's how we do things.
My gosh, Coach G, you spent the better part of 6 weeks there in Vegas. Say, by the way, Lobo fans, grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, that's what I like, proud partner of New Mexico Lobo Football. Talked to a few folks that, have made their way back to the Duke City as well, that had been out there with you for that entire month and a half. And, boy, the feeling of the pillow at home, I'm sure it's never felt better. And seeing family, and, gosh, there still isn't any real normalcy, is there? But at least that part of it feels right?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I got to spend time with my wife, who is my best friend, and then my 4 kids. My son's back in town from ASU where he goes to school, and my oldest son, who lives here and works full-time at Costco, came over the night I got there, and the girls were on Sunday evening were there waiting for us. So it was a great welcoming home. When the buses rolled in, there was 50 to 100 cars there in University Stadium parking lot. was another great welcome home. So, I mean, it's been really nice. And then there's been a lot of positive vibes about our football program here in the city. Our basketball, both men and women, are getting to, and they're starting what we went through. And hopefully with some health order changes, we can get our boys and our girls back here in Albuquerque where they belong and continue these wins that we're doing through the month of December. I mean, it'd be just fine with me if we go the entire month of December with no Lobo losses. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, my gosh, it'd be incredible. Hey, Coach G, this is a fan question that I've got from a couple different people via Twitter. And by the way, huge props to the fans, the way they carried the Facebook Live recruiting show, the signing day show last night, man. Wasn't that awesome?
It was really, really cool. I mean, to have all those people interact and be involved and all the different I heard we had a couple different calls yesterday from alumni and just people that want to be involved before the Facebook thing how they were. I mean, I was telling the story about our kids chanting on the sideline and cheering, and they said, well, Coach, don't worry, those chants and those cheers were coming from our living rooms too. So there was a lot of really positive vibes for our football program during that time, which is just awesome.
So here's the question I wanted to share with you. As you've told the story of essentially the parade that you guys got from Lobo fans with their cars and their horns and screaming out the car windows and stuff when the buses pulled in Sunday evening at University Stadium after your return from Las Vegas. Maybe the next chance you get in a virtual Zoom with the guys or whatever, or have your position coaches ask, see if anybody pulled out their phone. Maybe we can gather some home videos, some homemade phone videos, maybe of the coaches or the kids that they made, because there's some fans that say, gosh, I wish I'd thought of that. Man, I'd have loved to be there and see that and be part of that, and they just want to see what it looked like.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? Actually, I can hit up Brandon Ortega with Channel 4 because they were there, and they filmed us coming in, and the kids did pop out their phones. So I'm sure we can put some really cool stuff together.
That would be perfect. Yeah, I'm sure the fans would love that. UNM Athletics and Valley Fence proud to partner up, trying to end hunger throughout New Mexico. For every football sack, every men's basketball block shot, every baseball strikeout by Lobo pitcher, Valley Fence makes a donation to the Roadrunner Food Bank. Valley Fence, the official fencing partner of UNM Athletics, is a special signing day edition of Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez. Okay, Coach G, we kind of had a formula, an idea about how we wanted to craft this show segment by segment. So let's start with the first piece of that, which was kind of an overview of what you hope to accomplish with this year's class. Were there any position groups you were trying to
Writing's not that easy, but
how did you make decisions in terms of high school kids, JUCO kids, or grad transfers going to figure in? What was the overall philosophy, the overall goals with this class?
Well, definitely the idea that we're going to build this program is off of freshman classes, and we're going to build our class. The majority of them will be freshmen. If we need to fill some gaps, we will try and go the junior college route for 2 or 3 kids if we feel there's an immediate need, because those guys have played in games. They played at this level. We won't take grad transfers that didn't play at most places unless there's some circumstances where there's a reason and they're good enough. I mean, if they haven't played, they're hard to evaluate. So we can fill some gaps with those guys. But we're going to build it class by class of 20 to 24 freshmen. And as you get to natural attrition by the end of their 5th year, usually you have a senior class of about anywhere from 17 to 21 guys. And if you can reload off of those every year, then you've got the chance to build and sustain a program. So that's the idea behind that. And then this year, obviously I feel that we need to be a lot faster as a football team, and we need some more length. We're not very tall. So that was the big address. I mean, up front, on both sides of the ball, we got bigger. I mean, Harrison Cole, offensive lineman that Terrence Mathis helped us out with, he's 6'7". We signed another one late last night that ended up with really 21 freshmen, an offensive lineman from Servite that's 6'3". Most of our linemen are 6'3" or taller. On both sides of the ball, the 2 D-linemen we picked up are 6'4". Now, Jaden Phillips might play D-line. He's about 6'2", but he's got the potential to play up front on the D-line or linebacker off the ball. And then we have 5 guys that are sub-11 second 100-meter guys. And so you run a 10-point-something 100-meter, you can move. And I thought we really had to improve the speed of our team that we'll continue to do in their future recruiting classes also. But that was the main focus right there.
Tanawon Country Club has memberships available for unlimited use of the golf course, tennis facilities, and dining under the large outdoor covered patio. For more information on our preferred membership offer and hosting an event, please call Tanawon Country Club at 505-822-0422. All right, a special signing day edition of Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network will continue in mere moments. We're going to take some phone calls. If you have questions for Coach G, we can do that. We're also going to have Coach G kind of go through and highlight some of the kids. He's already done that a little bit, but some of these young freshmen that he's brought into his program and what the ceiling might be for a few of these. You've heard he's talked about speed. He's talked about size. He's talked about height. So that's one thing. We'll definitely get into that, some individual breakdowns of some of these guys. But this has been a very unique year in terms of recruiting. It's all been virtual. How has that looked? How has Coach G and his staff, how have they managed recruiting without any in-person visits and only doing this over the phone and only doing this virtually through Zoom? That's what we're going to talk about when we come back on the other side. A special signing day edition of Lobo Talk continues on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
Why? Because it's got all the flavor and zero
the athlete and counselors and janitors and principals and teachers, and making sure we vetted the character of these young men who we're bringing to our community to make sure that we're bringing, good kids. That's the character of your program. You have a lot more chance to be successful if you do that. And so I thought the coaches did a great job. On paper, these kids look good, but the biggest disadvantage is they didn't spend any time with our kids other than the virtual. We set up some panels for our kids to talk to the recruits. And outside of that, there hasn't been a lot of interaction between them and our kids other than some text messages. So that makes me nervous only because when we bring a kid on a recruiting visit, if our boys come back to us and say, Coach, this guy don't belong with us, he's different, he doesn't fit in, we stop recruiting him. And so if some of that happens later, then some of that attrition might happen by that way. But I think we've done a good job of the character vetting. We'll see when those guys get here exactly how they fit in. And now I'm excited for them to get here because I think they're really good. And you don't ever really know how good your recruiting class is for about 2 years, but on paper they look really good.
With Descendant Credit Union's Power of Change program, you can round up your debit card purchases to build your savings, pay down your debt, or contribute to your community. It's your change, so it's your choice. Learn more at Descendant.org. Descendant Credit Union, the power of we. Insured by NCUA. Lobo head football coach Deanna Gonzalez is with us. I'm Robert Portnoy. We are live on the UNM Sports Radio Network with a signing day edition of Lobo Talk. Phone line available for you at 505-243-3333, 505-243-3333. If you have a question for Coach G, give us a call. And it was great to hear from you so much at the conclusion of Lobo Talk the last time. Coach G, the fan interaction has just been spectacular. And I guess this was a question that was asked by a fan last night during your live Facebook show for your class. What about the momentum and the enthusiasm around the program, and especially here over the last couple of weeks? Have you guys seen another little bump, having the first 2 wins and the sort of the energy behind that?
Oh, a ton of energy. We've had people call in over to the football offices and to the administration building asking about season tickets already. We've had different. It's given basketball some momentum, and we've got more people talking about Lobo sports in general. Obviously, winning cures all, and to get some momentum at the very end was outstanding. We needed it. Our kids needed it for the. Right now they were going with faith, belief without seeing, because we hadn't seen a lot of results in the positive way. And we keep giving them the message of, hey, this works. We're going to do it right. It works. You've got to keep grinding away. You've got to keep, the discipline is the most important. You got to keep after it. And after a while of no results, you got guys that start to, well, Coach, this doesn't work. What are we doing? And when you saw the Wyoming result, all of a sudden there was a lot more belief because they saw it. And I thought it carried over into practice for the Fresno week. And then, obviously, we played very well in the fourth quarter. We had some momentum, and we made some plays. And I think good teams make their own breaks, and we did in that game. If you figure in the third quarter, we lose our 2 best defenders. And from that point on, we played better. So And it wasn't because we had better players in there. I mean, Brandon Shook and Joey Noble are really, really good. And I wanted to address that real quick, too, because the Joey Noble's penalty and then Ben Gonzalez's penalty where he hit the quarterback when we threw the interception, there's a fine line between being too aggressive and going over the line. I mean, I wanted to play right on the fine line of being just so aggressive that you get close to getting those penalties. But you have to be smart. And I apologize to Coach DeBoer after the game about the one on the quarterback because I didn't think that was – I mean, I talked to Ben on the sideline and told him, we're much better than that. We have a lot more class than that. We want to go find the quarterback and block him and do all those things, but not when a guy's already on the ground. And when we want to jump on the pile, we do want to try and jump on the pile and get as much as we can with those guys, but we don't want to take shots at the head. And, we've been begging them to be more aggressive and to be more get after them, the offense like that. And now we get to pull them back a little bit, and it's a lot easier to get them to pull back. We want to get to that point. So we will not be a dirty football team. We were actually the least penalized football team in the Mountain West, which I think is a very positive because they're doing things the right way. But I thought that spoke volumes about where we've come from the very beginning to the very end. We want to be a physical football team, and that's the kind of stuff that comes along with it.
Are you looking for a professional property management company that you can rely on for all your needs? Start and end your search right here at Maddox Management. We're ready to be your exceptional partner when it comes to managing your property. And as we live and work in the communities we serve, you can rest assured we'll see them thrive together. To learn more, please visit MaddoxMGMT.com. And remember, fans, don't ever forget football is always better with a crisp Bud Light at your game. Keep it crisp, Lobos. Please drink responsibly. Okay. Phone calls at 505-243-3333 coming up as well. It's time to talk about some of the individuals in this class of 20. I know the Lobo fans want to hear about the quarterbacks. The Lobos signed a Bear and a CJ at quarterback, and Coach G will illuminate on the other side. You're listening to Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
This isn't a grilled cheese I'm making.
Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Lobo Talk, Lobo Talk.
Lobo, stay up to date.
Back for just a couple of moments here with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez on a special signing day edition of Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Pizza 9's ready to deliver hot, delicious deep dish pizza to you. Order online at pizza9pizza.com, Pizza 9 Chicago-style pizza, and much more. And Coach G, give me 30 seconds on a Bear and a CJ at quarterback in your recruiting class.
I see. I like how you give me a time limit because I'll go crazy. Bear, big, very competitive, 6'3", can throw, aggressive, does the dual threat stuff that we like to do. A winner. I mean, they were 8-2 in the big division and did a great job at a good season. And CJ Montez, dual athlete, similar to Trey and Tavaka. I mean, very athletic, can run, can throw. Both of them can spin it very well. So I look forward to those guys competing to be our quarterback.
Pepsi is a proud sponsor of the UNM Lobos. Pepsi, made for football watching. Break open a Pepsi and let's go Lobos. Coach G, you've got about 15 seconds. A final message to your fans after your first season is in the books as Lobo head coach.
Well, first off, I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm honored to be our coach. It's not my team. It's our team. The future is very bright. I'm going to keep saying this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But we're going to get to win that championship. We're going to win the 5th championship for our school, and I just want everybody to jump on board for both the men's and women's basketball teams for the rest of the year, and then let's fill up University Stadium in Albuquerque next year during this football season. Thanks, Robert, for all you've done for us this season. Go Lobos.
Thank you, Coach Gonzalez. For Mike Vitale, our producer and engineer, our head football coach, Danny Gonzalez. We're presented by U.S. Bank, a proud supporter of the University of New Mexico. That's going to do it for us for a special signing day edition of Lobo Talk on the UNM Sports Radio Network. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.